Okay. The Wall Street Journal has used an incorrect email to communicate with me. They did not have a phone number. They are a fraud. This was a fraud. I tried to contact them. They didn't listen. So in the future, make sure everything is in paperwork and you can prove what happened. A few years ago, 2017, I was seeing if it could help out with teaching English. It didn't. I mean, it just didn't. I was hoping to get something about finding things from different sources, and it didn't help. So I canceled, and they kept reaching out, and I said, no, I've canceled. And but even now I'm saying, okay, I will still pay for those months that they kept sending me something. But then all of a sudden they started sending it to an email address that never existed. I got no confirmation, and they still kept sending it there, and they kept billing me. And there are several reasons why I did not notice this at the time. First and foremost, I invest. And so I kind of just attributed these charges to that. But more importantly, I had brain surgery in 2018, and my seizures had consistently continued and were getting worse around that time. I know that that's probably not an official reason. It can't be used officially, but there is a reason why I was unaware of this. And I mean, I should also mention the part of my brain that turned off. They had to take out a part of my brain, and it was one of the key ones in memorization and being able to speak. So I totally didn't see this. I didn't attribute it to this non-existent account because so whenever I found out, when I figured this out, because my investment firm, the Edward E. Jones group, they said no. This is one of the side effects. This account has nothing to do with us. And so I started looking into it, and I figured out what was going on. I called them. It was really hard to find the number. I spoke to Nancy, and she admitted they didn't have a phone number. And there was a push to go in and change my email. I did change my email, but I did not confirm it because I was kind of thinking maybe this isn't going to end very well. She admitted to me the email address, and I'm telling you, it never existed. But after that, after I spoke to Nancy, every single person that came on, they said, oh, well, we can't access any prior email addresses once they've been changed. That wasn't what Nancy had told me. And they have repeatedly, I'm going to say, straight up lied. So because the next person I spoke to, his name is Curtis. And I said, I want to know the name of the previous person, your name, and he told me a totally wrong name, a Hispanic male name. And I was shocked because I know I wasn't speaking to the right person. And I also recorded all the information, how much money they were charging me, and they confirmed I was supposed to only pay $12 for 12 weeks. No, that's not what they charged me, even initially. They charged me up to $38.99. They did not charge me just $12. It was more. And I have the paperwork to prove it. And they acknowledged it. They said, you signed up for $12 for 12 weeks. And it was at least over $30. That might be including tax, but still, it was more than twice that I had signed up for. He never said that, okay, I am 90% sure that I spoke to someone about this on the phone. And I'm pretty sure that it was changed, the email address changed. And I'm really sure it happened in January. They won't admit that. And so that would explain the reason why I never saw the Wall Street Journal after that. And whenever I spoke to Curtis, the one after Nancy, he wouldn't say that the email that came back to me was telling me anything. It said advising. Oh, I need to tell you about the initial email that I sent. Okay, I'm going back into 2017. I did send a cancellation email, and apparently they wrote it off. They didn't acknowledge it. They didn't accept that. And whenever I was talking to Curtis about this, he said, we advised you in the email, not officially instructing me. And he kept saying advised. He kept saying advised. So I'm not sure why. Anyway, that might be part of the fine print. I have looked back at the fine print, and I'm very, very frustrated because this was not what I thought I was signing up for. And whenever I spoke to Nancy, it was like, she said, could I get your phone number? And I said, you don't have that? And she said, no, we just always had your email address. The email address that never existed. This, going back to my brain surgery, which followed directly afterwards, what happened was I no longer had access to a lot of these paperwork issues. And this was a closed account. This was not an account that was supposed to be accessible to anyone else but Amazon. So that was another reason why I wasn't informed about it. I really only saw my Amazon purchases. So that that probably was a big reason, but also I have investments, and that was a major reason why I didn't attribute it to the actual journal, the Wall Street Journal. Now that I'm doing a whole lot better, ugh, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing in some ways. I want you to know this, but yeah, family and friends have been the ones taking care of this mess for me, and now things are starting to take up again. They didn't acknowledge it. They didn't know what was going on, and they were trying. So when I changed my email address, I never opened the email address. I mean, though, I never went to the subscription. Never did. They automatically said that they did. And they sent out an email saying, unless you need to log in within a week for us to acknowledge your email change. They keep saying that it's already changed. Yeah, they are lying. Whenever I spoke to Curtis, and I told him flat out, this is unethical. You never had any of my contact information. You didn't even have my email address. You also didn't have my phone number. The only thing that they gave me was to say, okay, we're canceling your subscription and we can pay you back for last month. Whenever I have almost paid, I've paid over $1,500. I mean, yeah. And for a school teacher going through brain surgery, that's unacceptable. I called them back to tell them, hey, look, this is last time I'm going to talk to you before I talk to a lawyer. I went through about 3 people. I hope you got that. I added it to this, the conversation. They would not go past it, and they kept saying my email changed, so they cannot access my previous email. And then they added that I hung up on Curtis. So that was the reason why they just ignored it. I didn't. This was a blatant lie. They do have a recording of it. They say they have a recording of it, and they also should have the recording of the conversation I'm telling you I know I made in January. So they did not acknowledge the truth about that conversation I had with Curtis. And then I said, well, I want to hear the audio. I want you to acknowledge the audio, because this was an audio recording. And they said, well, you can't unless you are a Wall Street Journal subscriber. I need to get money back. The last person I spoke to this last time, she said, okay, we can figure something out. You'll hear from us within 3 days. Now, it was on a Thursday, so I should have heard back by Monday. I did not. Even through the weekend, she the initial people that I spoke to just kept repeating what I told you. And I said, this is not acceptable. I will do something. Even if it was just a half or some of this money back, I am okay with that. And I will say, I will acknowledge those months that I was contacted about. But the parts that I didn't even know the subscription even existed is unacceptable. Oh, the email that they had said, the lsmith020 at a.rr.com. That one is a lot like another email address, lsmith020 at austin.rr.com. Even if they had that email was canceled over 5 or 6 months ago. And even before that, I had a lot of blocks on it, especially anything that went to spam. And this would have been something that went to spam. And also, the Roadrunner company was bought out by another company. And so they didn't even accept the austin.rr.com. They had already changed a lot of those email addresses, and they kind of grandfathered them along briefly. And you were supposed to change it, which I didn't. And we changed carriers. And, I have not even seen that email address in forever, but I called them anyway. And they said, well, those emails have pretty much just disappeared, but there are some kind of shadows of a few, and you never received any emails from Wall Street Journal since 2017. So in retrospect, the only way this could have possibly been done is I was using my work email a lot. So I might have given my work email, and then they were supposed to change it to the other one. I couldn't have confirmed it because that email address never worked. And I never received any emails from them. So how would I have been able to confirm an email address that never existed? So they say they have no record of any of this prior work, but why were they able to tell me that my previous email was what I just said over the phone after I had changed it? So anyway, that's the information I have. Do not believe any of their promotions. They will take advantage of you. If you feel like cancellation, you have to send it in a physical form. And I would also get confirmation from them that they received this, and just confirmation not to trust them. That's my main advice.